right, guys, we're talking lifestyle design today. So, how can we start to take our life and do it on purpose? How can we start to cultivate the relationships that we want, the things that we want in our life, have it be finances, success, just more feelings of joy, less feelings of anxiousness? All of these things is all through being being very aware and very intentional of the people that you hang out with, the things that you consume, the things that are making you feel good, and the things that are making you feel bad. And a lot of times we aren't paying attention to the things that we're doing in our everyday lives that are sucking out our life force energy. And um, we don't even really realize that we keep turning to it because of habit rather than out of a pure intention and getting rid of that stuff, getting rid of the toxic relationships, getting rid of the things that really, really drain us, and starting to add in more of the positivity, the people who make us feel good, the places that we like to go to, the things that make us feel good. So putting that in intentionally so we start to have more energy. One of the things that I see that most of my clients and just in general people want is more energy. Like, man, how do I get as much energy as you? How do I feel like I want to wake up and do the day? Well, this is one way to do it, is through this exercise that I'm challenging you to do right now, which is a positive and energy giver and an energy sucker. So I'm going to be going through some of the, let's start with the suckers first. So, some of the energy suckers that might be in your life, and I'm going to say these, and you can follow through with the document that's in the link below if you want, or just sketch it out on pen and paper as we go through this. And it's going to get your mind thinking of maybe some things that are in your life that are draining the life force as the energy sucker. And if there's something on here that isn't, that I don't say, then feel free to also jot that down. And after, I'm going to talk to you about what to do with this list. What are we going to do after we identify these 10 top suckers and these 10 top givers? So, the suckers, negative thinkers. All right, guys. So, if it's you that's having the negative thinking, look outside yourself. Is this a conditioned thought? Is this something that you can actually hear your mom or dad's voice in repeating these same phrases that are negative thinking? Is it your coworkers that are constantly feed you with the negative thinking? Is it social media? Is it news? Is it your television? Any of these inputs that is sucking your energy is from negative thinking. Start to look at those and maybe jot some down right now that do take your mind to that negative thinking place. Second one, toxic relationships. Again, the people who are making you feel like you're not enough, you're not worthy, you don't have a gift. Because, guys, I'm going to be honest with you, every single one of us have a gift. We are all so unique and we're bringing something different to this world. And so your gift might not be my gift. So the negative, toxic people is going to suck out your energy. So maybe if there's some names that come up to you, and sometimes it kind of feels bad to say, like, oh, well, my mom makes me feel really bad. But listen, it's it's just identifying that the relationship might not be pouring into your best self at this point in your life. And there are ways to change it. So don't feel bad about writing out names that you notice after you hang out with these people. You're just like, ugh, I'm so exhausted. Um, so that would be one of those people you want to write down for a potentially toxic relationship. Stress and overload is number three. So how much you're taking on, if you're feeling overwhelmed by the day, it's not going to make you have energy, it's going to completely deplete you. So what are the stressors, or how are you overloaded? Is there too much on your plate right now, and what can we start to pull out and off of that plate to get rid of it right now? Just identify it, and then we'll come down to solution after this. um, Unhealthy habits such as poor diet, lack of exercise, substance abuse, inadequate sleep. Guys, these are all the things that we're working on right now, but those um, lifestyle habits of that are draining you. They're like, you're sitting around, you're feeling more tired. You're laying around watching TV, you're feeling more exhausted. So these unhealthy habits, and you're eating, pizza, which is cheese, carbohydrates, and um, uh, all of that just makes you feel really tired and heavy and exhausted. And so pizza and chips and cake and cookies, it's like these food are actually really addicting, as you guys know from doing this whole nutrition course and rework around of your whole life. They're draining of your energy. And so once we start to put these pieces in place, once we start sleeping the adequate amount, we have less cravings. When we stop putting in the processed sugar, we have less cravings. When we stop putting in the gluten, we're less exhausted. These are things that is going to add into that. But just right now, identify. Number 4, identify those unhealthy habits that you feel aren't up to par. Procrastination. So just putting off tasks. And there is a rule that I like to follow. It's a 60-second rule. And it goes, okay, can I just put something away in 60 seconds? If I can do it in 60 seconds, I'm going to do it right now. So the procrastination, if you notice that you do it, this is number 5. What is it that you procrastinate at? What is it? So I always procrastinate with dishes and laundry. And so you're just identifying it right now. Number 6, rumination and worry. So if you notice that you oftentimes, after interacting with people or just in your day to day, like where your thoughts are going, like, oh my gosh, I'm worried about this now. Oh, I'm thinking that my kid's gonna trip and stub his toe, and now I'm worried that he's gonna fall in the toilet, and now I'm worried about. It's like, just recognize and write it down and bring it to the surface of these things that you might be ruminating and worrying about. Number 7, comparison and envy. So we all think that somebody does it better than us, or we want to be better than them. And so if you notice that you have envy, you might pass judgment to those people, or you might be like, well, I don't look like you, so I haven't had results, whatever it is. Like, if we find ourselves comparing and also feeling greedy, or like wanting to pick on somebody, like we put a lot of attention into that person, um, look deep down in your heart and see, is it that person, or what is it in you that feels that lack? If we can learn to see it, then we can learn to heal it. So we need to see it and recognize it before we can heal it. Number 8, clutter and disorganization. So look around your house. Is there a certain room, a certain closet, a certain cupboard? Is it your whole life that feels cluttered and chaotic? Write it down if it is. This is another energy sucker. Lack of boundaries is number 9. So you can't expect people and things to change if you're not going to implement boundaries. And this means that I'm also responsible for making sure when I set a boundary that I follow through on a consequence if somebody doesn't honor and respect that. And so it's not just saying, hey, you can't do that, I don't like that. It's, if you do that again, then I will, and you fill in the consequence. And so, me as a mom of 3, I'm constantly doing this with my 3 boys. If I tell my kids they can't do that without a consequence, they're just going to continue to do it. So as soon as I implement a consequence, then they're seeing that I'm setting a boundary. So in relationships, this might look like, um, no, I don't want to do that with you. And then the person kind of keeps pushing you or picking on you, and you're not setting a boundary and saying, hey, I don't like the way you're talking to me. I don't like how you're disrespecting me. If you continue like this, I'm not going to go and hang out with you on that camping trip. I don't want to continue to invest in this friendship. Whatever it is, you're setting a consequence, and you are responsible for both setting the boundary and following through with it. So just lean into yourself. Do you feel that there's someone who's always kind of pushing you past the point, doing things that you didn't want to do, or wasn't your idea, or it didn't fill you up? This might be a key indicator that you do not have boundaries with them. And then number 10 is going to be negative media consumption. So you guys, social media, TikTok, Instagram, stories, reels, lives. I have people who are 80 years old come up to me and tell me they remind me of somebody on YouTube or live shorts or whatever. And it's it's amazing, this world now. We can consume, see what everybody else is doing all day long. And if this is negative and it's putting all these ideas of scarcity and fear in your body, or it's just negative, like talking badly about other people, that will actually drain your own personal energy. So, in this exercise, you now have a list based off these 10 categories. If there's anything else you can think about, and maybe you sit with each of these categories after this prompt too, and just sit. Okay, clutter. Is there an area in my life I would like to have it more organized? Okay, I'm going to set 30 minutes aside. And so we can start to move beyond these energy sectors once we identify them. So definitely take some time, sit with each of these 10 pieces, and see if there's anything else you can come up with that is actually draining your energy. Um, Next, we're going to talk about the energy givers. And now these are the things that we want to identify both in your life that you're currently doing that makes you feel really good, that makes you feel revitalized, that makes you feel like you're in your highest self, your best power, your most vibrant. And so that might, to me, off the bat, I can go, oh my gosh, to me, that's going to the beach, that's swimming with dolphins, that's working with clients, that's creating content. And so to me, all these things make me feel really good. They give me energy, teaching classes. All of these things are pouring into my bucket, giving me more energy. And so I'm going to give you a list, if you can't think of them off the bat, of things you're already doing that make you feel that way. And you can start to, again, expand on your list as you go through this. So here we go, 10 energy givers, positive thinkers. So surrounding yourself with the people and actually adopting that language and lifestyle yourself of positivity, looking at it going, okay, where am I? What am I so grateful for? And the grateful exercise, the gratitude exercise of being like, before I go to bed at night, I'm going to sit and give gratitude for 3 things that I am just honestly so grateful for. Or it's the first thing in the morning. The 2 times of our life where we are the most receptive to information is first thing in the morning and the last thing we do, the last thoughts we go to before we go into our deep sleep. So being more intentional, if you're not already being a positive thinker, to give gratitude around those times of the day. And also any other time you're sitting in traffic, like, oh my gosh, there's traffic. Positive thinking is an energy giver. So you're going to snap into it and you're going to go, okay, wait, I'm really grateful I have a car, you know? And because there's a lot of people in this world, on this planet, that don't have their own vehicle. So, wow, it's kind of nice just to sit here in my car. It's like, I've got air conditioning, I've got a heated seat, I've got music to listen to. Like, why not make this fun? And so it's just changing the mindset to thinking positive. Number 2 is support from friends and family. So actually feeling you have people who hear you, who feel you, who can give you space to express openly without judgment, and who are also your cheerleaders and just being like, let's go. Let's go, Carly. I know you can do that. Yes. I mean, anything you want. How can we support? I want to support. These people who lean into you, like literally, they kind of, even with their body language, like lean into you when they're around you or like showing interest, pull them in your close knit of people, of sphere, because they are giving you more positive energy. Number 3 is healthy lifestyle habits. So on the reverse of non-healthy is the healthy habits. So eating food that has quality nutrition in it, hydrating with water, spending time in nature, getting adequate amount of sleep, the social connections, all of this stuff is the healthy habits, which we all know. You guys are here working on that. That's why I see you here and now. Next one is passionate pursuits. So engaging in activities that speak to your soul. Like one of those things for me is everything. Well, I should say everything that I do in my life, but it is like I am going to be with those dolphins because it speaks to my soul. It's like I don't know how I'm ever going to get to know these hundreds of pods of dolphins on this island, but it is a passion of mine, as well as the corals, as well as it's just like seeing different fish. It is a passion of mine that gives me more fuel. Like I feel like I don't even need to take a nap or sleep or any of that because it's just things that I really enjoy. So that could be collecting rocks. My babysitter collects shells, and she can spend hours just getting lost in the world of like little nooks and crannies of rocks. Own it, guys. Own it. Maybe it's crafting. Maybe it's braiding. Maybe it's skateboarding. Maybe it's I don't know, just like collecting dolls, like playing with dolls that you never got to play with when you were a kid. Um, those passionate pursuits, they are going to give you energy. Number 5 is nature and fresh. So think about this. The things that are going to make you feel more alive are the things that are alive, guys. I said to my husband, I was like, I will film right now. I would love to film right now as long as we move the couch outside. So be in nature. They have had clinical studies showing 120 minutes a week at minimum has positive impact on your brain, on your mood. And 120 minutes, only 2 hours, guys. I try to spend at least 7 hours a day outside. So majority of my day is outside when I'm up and at 'em. So find ways for you. Get creative. If you're living, we came from cold Michigan. So if you're in a place where it's cold, let's bundle up. Let's make it a fun activity. Let's have it be like a community event. How could I pull people outside with me? If you have kids, kids naturally always gravitate to be outside. So find ways, nature hunts, community walks, anything that you can do out here, guys. The air is so good. The fresh air is so good for us to breathe. The plants, the birds are literally singing to the flowers, and the flowers open. It's like we are part of this nature. So don't be separate from it. Get inside of nature. Get in it. Be in it. Number 6 is acts of kindness. So this is just being a helping hand to a friend. So it's like if you hear grandma's having company over for a holiday or whatever, and just say, hey, can I come over and help? When we give from our hearts and we have connection, community, serving others, it is the release of endorphins that is the highest um, high that we can get is this release of emotions that completely suppresses the release of cortisol. So we have this huge benefit of being of service to others. And so that will definitely add into your energy givers. Meaningful relationships. So when we can drop in with a deeper connection with somebody beyond this level of, hi, how are you? Good. How are you guys? Good. It's been pretty cold outside lately. Yup, it's winter. You know, um, that's not necessarily the deep connection that gives us this pull, this pulse, this passion, right? When I can really sit with somebody and feel the things that they're going through, when I can allow them space to grieve, when I can just be there with them and connect, it just fuels you. It gives you passion. It moves you forward. So be bold. Be willing to connect with people on that deeper level, as there's so much there for your own energy levels. Number 9 is learning and, oops, sorry, I skipped 8. Number 8 is mindful practices. So this is being more intentional with everything that you do, guys. You can turn everything into a meditation. Your dishes and like watching and seeing how the suds form as you continue to like suds up a dish or like scratch out the sides, or like everything can be a meditation, literally from like chopping and preparing your meals and spraying the skillet with like intention and like smelling the spices and aroma as you're doing it. When we pull in all of our senses, we're totally and fully present. And you'll find there's so much more happiness when you are fully present. So the mindfulness practices like that and pulling in all your senses, maybe it's meditation, maybe it's pulling in the exercise with the spiritual awareness with yoga. These are all great ways of adding into that energy giver bucket. Learning and growth is number 9. So just studying, just being a student, just being curious. And it's so cool as a mom of young kids. I am constantly watching my kids be little students of this planet. Like, what is this? How does it work? And if we can continue to be a student, to pursue things that we're interested in, like if it's, I really am curious about fossils and bones, go to the library and just start to learn about things that you've always kind of wondered, as that passion like leads you to the next one, and you can just flow between things that you're like, I didn't know that's how they made buildings. And maybe you decide to pick up a hammer, and maybe one day you'll start to be, I don't know, a builder. Like, learning new skills and just learning in general is an opportunity for you to feel that passion and that purpose and the part of fun in this life of living. And then number 10 is gratitude. And I briefly spoke about gratitude, and that it is practicing gratitude and correcting old thoughts. So you could wear a rubber band like this where you feel yourself like griping and moaning like about something, and you're like, oh, I have to go to the store, and it's like, whoa, snap yourself, and you're like, okay, here is it. I get to go to the store. Like, I'm in a place where I'm so abundant that I can just go drive up the road 6 minutes and have like a plethora of choices of fresh fruit coming from the island. I get to go to the market, and I'm grateful I have the car to get there. I'm grateful that my legs work and my arms work, that I can carry my groceries. All of these ways that we're using our gratitude to come back to this place of happiness and purity is going to add into the lifestyle design uh, of feeling energetic, of feeling abundant, of feeling more feelings of happiness. And I encourage you guys to look at that list now of your 10 energy givers and see where you can expand on it. So it's time for the exercise now. If you are following along with either the sheet in this video or on your own pencil and paper, now we're going to start to just, you have some ideas of where you already have some energy givers and suckers. Now what I like to have you do is take this sheet with you and have it with you in your car, or maybe you take a picture and put it in your notes and just add on to it this week. So it might be like you're out doing something. Like today I came home from a swim and I came back home. It was like as soon as I went inside, because I told you I don't like to spend a lot of time inside, I was like, oh, I'm tired. And I didn't really have a reason to be tired, but I didn't notice it until I started filming this video and started talking. We came outside, I put on the camera, I'm like, oh my gosh, I am so ready to go. What are we gonna do next? And so for me, and say I made my list, I would then go to my energy suckers and be like, nature, need a lot more time. Move my work outside. So even in me recognizing it, that it wore me down, I can put that in the negative, the energy sucker column, and then I can start to make a plan about how to shift it, how to change it. So first we identify, and then we're going to go through each of those and start to see, how can we think about this different? How can we change this so we can have a different result? So we're no longer living in the routine, the mindless routine that got us the results that we didn't want, right? Because that's usually why we're here. We're looking for a different result. And so you start searching, how do I get a different result? What do I need? Is it weight loss? Is it whatever? Fill in the blank. Is it that I need to be a size 4 instead of a size 2? Or whatever it is. Do I need more muscle to feel like I'm happy? You're searching right now. So let's start to identify the areas that are actually taking your life force out and just identifying them first. And then after we have a week of this list, it's like, oh my gosh, I realize I hate doing laundry. And I'm like, okay, come back to that list. Let's get creative. Can we, how are we going to make laundry fun? Can we put on your favorite movie while we do laundry? Can we? And for me, I don't ever watch TV, so it would be a really good treat. Or can I play music while I'm doing it? Or can I first bring high energy and do a dance for 17 seconds and then do the laundry, and I'm going to stick a reward right after it so I can start to associate laundry in a healthy way? So first it's like I'm going to do all my laundry and then I have a date planned with my husband and I'm really looking forward to that. Or I'm going to do all my laundry and then every time after I do like my laundry day, I'm rewarding myself by going to the beach. So we can take the things that are sometimes draining us and find ways to make it fun with rewards or just changing our mentality of how we go into it, and we have a completely different experience. So a lot of the negatives and positives are just the opposite of the pendulum swinging. So the unhealthy habits we start to change with the healthy habits. You guys are doing that now. And so first identifying it and then coming up with that plan. You guys are amazing. Thank you so much for tuning in. And we'll check back with how to take this list and move it forward.